I take great pleasure in reading the citation in honor of Professor Michael Nagler. Professor Emeritus of Classical Languages at the University of California, Berkeley, and founder and former chairman of the university's Peace and Conflict Studies program, you have become one of the world's most widely respected peace scholars and activists. You have devoted most of your life exploring nonviolence as an alternative to war and other violence. You belong to a rare category of peace activists who came to Gandhiji through the spiritual route. The turning point in your life was your contact with Indian teacher Eknath Easwaran and residence at his Blue Mountain Center of Meditation. During the last 15 years, you have been increasingly involved in the peace movement. You have been the founder of the Metta Center together with the Dalai Lama Foundation for Nonviolence and Education, as also Educators for Nonviolence, and now you are the president. You have been the moving spirit behind the Shanti Sena project, now called Nonviolent Peace Force. Your commitment to nonviolence is total. This is explicitly reflected in your outstanding work, The Search for a Nonviolent Future.
I just want to mention three things to you very quickly that we've learned in the study of peace science recently. One is that huge numbers of people in the world today, nearly 2/3 of the world's population, live in regimes which have gone through a successful transition to democracy without the use of violence. So that's one thing. We have huge numbers now in our favor, which Mahatma Ji did not have, of course, when he first initiated this work in India. Secondly, we have new facts on the ground. It used to be when you wanted to get engaged in a struggle like this, you had to, as we say in English, reinvent the wheel. You had to start the whole thing all over again. Nobody knew that anybody had done this before. Nobody knew that there was a right way to do it and a wrong way. We have a fellow student in Berkeley last year who had tried nonviolent revolution in a West African nation and had been a dismal failure, and he decided that armed struggle was the only way, but after studying with us for a while, he began to understand we had not been doing it right. Nonviolence is the only way. And that's, of course, exactly what Gandhiji said. He once was asked, do you believe that nonviolence is the best way? And he startled the questioner by saying, no, it is not the best way. Nonviolence is the only way. And thirdly, we also have new institutions to implement these values, the spiritual energy and these Gandhian values. Most important of which, perhaps, is the one that's called third-party nonviolent intervention. The Nonviolent Peace Force that Madhu was kind enough to mention is working right now in Sri Lanka to interpose itself between conflicting parties, offering themselves, if necessary, as a sacrifice. Of course, that's not a new institution. It was Gandhi's idea, the Shanti Sena. Finally, I just want to share with you an anecdote. A friend of mine was in Washington, D.C., the capital of a large nation in between Canada and Mexico, and she was there to lobby, that's a verb, for a new institution of the type I've just been speaking of, called the Department of Peace. And she found herself in a hotel elevator with 4 military men glittering in their brass, and they fell to talking, and it turned out that they were lobbying for a new weapon system. So the time came for her to say what she was lobbying for. Being a courageous woman, she gulped twice and said, well, I'm here lobbying for the Department of Peace. One of those 4 people had been looking down at the ground, not making any response at all. When he heard that, he looked up and he said, please hurry. So, my dear friends, I would leave you with the thought that everything is ready and the world is asking us to please hurry. Thank you very much.